a look at the toolbar, and we'll go and describe some of the operations that are available, and then in later videos we'll go back and do each one of the areas in more detail. Here's an overview. Going from left to right, we've got a map new operation which will get rid of all the labels, selections, values and everything else. Quite handy to go back to a default map. Next, single click, go to current printer or any available printer. Then edit copy gives you that map image that we're currently looking at up into the clipboard so that you can do a paste into any other open Office application. This group here are for selections. There are two fundamental modes you can do. One is click and do something on the map, or click and drag and release, and each one of these buttons sets a default for each one of those options. So this first one is what happens when we click on the map. We're setting it to select mode, so every time we click into a postcode we can select it and we can unselect it as well. Alright, the next operation is a click, hold and drag. It's a radius select, so we click, hold and drag the mouse out to the distance that we want, let's say, and then we can get a bunch of selected postcodes that way. This is a rectangle select, so we might want to have all the postcodes in this particular zone selected for us. Again, it's a click, drag to opposite corner from where we clicked to define a rectangle, and then release it, and that will select that. There's a slightly different variation on the theme. This is a polygon select, so we can create any shape that we like. So first click simply establishes an anchor point, and then subsequent clicks gives us this shape definition, in which case we're just going to go up and down and around along the coast. Click and a double click to finish, and a couple seconds later it will come up and give us all the postcodes selected within that area. And I will just use a keyboard shortcut to get rid of all those selections for the moment. Next up is a measuring operation. So it is a same thing as the polygon click. First to establish the anchor point, then subsequent clicks we're measuring. You can see the bottom left hand side, it's giving us total distances. Alright, so then a double click to end that mode. Next we have the icons for labeling. This one is now defining a click on the map to add a label. We've already set up a formula for the label, which is simply to dive in and get the postcodes. Every time we click, we're going to leave a postcode label behind. Then we have a label edit button, so if we click on any label it comes up with a menu with a whole range of different options, changing the text itself, font, size and so on. We'll go into all these operations in detail in a subsequent section. Label move operation, so you click and release and click again and choose either move or copy. It will move that label to that location. And label delete, click and delete, and a general text icon, so we could just stick it up here and say what we want. We can change the text of these labels as well in that edit operation that was available in the menu. Here is a map move operation, so we can move the map around. This becomes pretty handy when we zoomed into an area, which we'll use in this very next icon. Alright, so this icon now is setting what will happen when we click, hold and drag. So click, hold and drag. This time it's defining an area to zoom into, and we're just doing a successive zoom in. And I'll show you an example of that panning operation. We could then just move the map around and fine tune it to where we want it to be. I'll come back to this operation. This one gives you your overview, which is our initial map view. It looks at all your layers and the extent of them and zooms out to all of them. This one zooms into your selection. So let's say that we did a radius select, click, hold and drag, release, and we say okay, view selections. we can see exactly what we've selected. That becomes important in where we're doing territories and we're selecting postcodes or suburbs, and we're saving them off, and this gives us a confirmation of what it is that we've actually got selected. And we can go back to any previous view since we started the session. We can also zoom in. These have keyboard shortcuts as well as individual menu options for doing zooms. We'll cover all those operations in a separate video. And zoom in, zoom out, left, right, up, down, and refresh. So that was a very quick overview of the toolbar, and then there'll be individual videos getting into all the topics in detail.